everyone. Happy Thursday. Looks like we might have a smaller group today, which I love because maybe we can dive in a little bit deeper with you three to kind of see where you're at in your journey and what I can help you with. Um, so let's see here. Valerie, I believe, is Texas. Lumati, I think you're California, if I remember right. Ooh. And Ed, oh gosh, I know you are on here a lot and I cannot remember. There is a lot to remember with everything that's going on. So if you could just please post where you're located, that would be great. Hey, Bonnie, how are you? Bonnie, is it Bonnie Henson, right? I get all my Bonnies confused. So yes. Oh, Oklahoma. Yes.
This is Bonnie, Kelly, Bonnie Lawyer's assistant.
Okay. So I get all my Bonnies confused. I have a Bonnie in the coaching program. My transaction coordinator is Bonnie. So welcome, Bonnie. Where are you guys located?
In outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, great. So we got Oklahoma, Texas, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. So awesome. So today we're going to talk about really like 3 things that you can implement now to get distressed sales. There's only 4 of you on. So I would be happy at the end if we can get through all of it to pull some numbers for you guys so you guys understand what's going on in your market. What I'm seeing a lot here is that there's a lot of families behind on their mortgage, but sometimes they can still sell as an equity sale. So, like for example, let's say Thursday, Tuesday, I closed on a deal. It was an FHA mortgage, so they had a partial claim because they had done a loan modification. And we thought for sure it was going to be a short sale. But after we worked all of the numbers, he ended up walking away with about $6,200. And so he was way into the foreclosure process. So I am calling those equity sales. Those are great. And so anyone that's interested in distressed sales should really jump in because those types of transactions are not going to last forever. So would love to go over some numbers in your area. Dallas and Oklahoma and Cincinnati. And so all those places. Okay. So feel free to unmute yourself as you have questions or go ahead and post in the chat. I would like to just pause and answer those for you. Okay. All righty. So 3 things that you can implement now for distress sales. Anyone currently, and I like to make this super interactive. So hopefully you guys are listening and you can, give your opinions and comments and stuff. Who is handling distress sales right now? Or maybe it's something you're looking to get into. So yes, you're handling it or looking to get into it or just have no clue. If you could post that way I can kind of tailor this presentation a little bit towards that. Looking to get into it. Yeah, Valerie, I see you around a lot. Not currently. Okay, great. So I love that. You know why I love that? Because I absolutely love short sales, distress situations. And so I like when people say, I'm looking to get into it or I'm not currently because I can help you kind of mold myself into you so you can be successful in your area. So, hey, Win. So Win is a part of my coaching program. Win, love to have you here. You can certainly chime in anytime, your experience with the coaching program. But
okay.
Hi, this is our live stream, but you could certainly stay on if you want. Every single Thursday in our coaching program, we have a training. And so right now the training is our Back to Basics series. So maybe if I have time, I'll go over that. But welcome, Win. Okay.
I learn something every time. That's why I come to as many of these as I can.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. So it is hot. I mean, it's like almost 60 here today. So I'm super excited, warm. I'm really excited about this one because, yeah, distress sales, getting the leads, the letters, all that. So let's talk about it. I love questions too. So please post any or unmute yourself. All right. So the first one is like distress leads. So anyone, most of you said that you're currently trying to get into distress sales or you're not doing any of it right now. If you are doing it, like Win, I know that you're obviously in it with us. Where are you getting your leads now? So if you're doing buyers or traditional sales, wherever, where is the majority of your guys' leads coming right now? Where are they coming from?
Well, I'm getting mine from researching the tax records, and for people that haven't paid their taxes in a couple of years, now they're going up for tax sale. And a lot of those people already own their homes, and sometimes they're deceased and the family just hasn't kept up with the bills. And I've got 2 listings yesterday just from that.
I love that, Win. Actually, let's share that in the coaching group because when I
Okay.
say distress sales, I really mean a lot of different situations. Yes, it
Right,
could be a short sale. Yes, it could be an equity sale, like the example I gave you that I closed 2 days ago, or it could be what Win's doing. You know, property taxes are a huge issue. And so a lot of people have no idea where to go. And it is a distressed, complicated, a lot of moving parts situation, right?
right.
So wherever you're getting your leads, great. And so I just wanted to kind of briefly tell you like how we're getting our leads. So we do have a paid option, and actually this should say a free option. But inside of the coaching program, sorry, something has come up. I have to. No problem, Bonnie. We have the replay. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. So inside of the coaching program, and when I don't know if you've taken advantage of this yet, but I believe you're doing pretty well with the tax record stuff. So I'm going to make note of that so we can mention that today. I have a relationship with Property Radar. And so inside of that relationship, we are able to get you guys an account. There is a monthly cost to that Property Radar account. I don't have anything to do with that. I just have a partnership with Property Radar. So you could get your leads there. Maybe you're getting your leads from your tax records. Inside of the coaching program, I do go over, do you have a user-friendly county? So important. Some people do. If they do, then they don't have to really pay for these types of leads. So we really have to dig in a little bit deeper in your area for that. I always say, like, work several different counties, okay? And so here in Chicagoland, there's like 9 different counties that I'm working. I don't know how many different counties you're working, but you don't have to be an expert in that particular area. You have to be an expert on how these banks handle these types of transactions, right?
Right.
That's why I love our community because we really can lean on one another for that. So we do have that paid option. We're going to talk about more of Property Radar in a second, but Property Radar is the relationship that I have. It is a tool that we provide inside of the coaching program. There is tons and tons of trainings on that. In fact, let's just take a sneak peek. So we have a module just dedicated to that training, okay? And so we're going to talk more about the letters and kind of how I go about that. But inside of this, we want you to separate those leads. So there's auction date and there's pre-foreclosure. So important. So just keep that, if you're taking notes, just keep that in the back of your head because we do separate those. And there's a meaning behind it. There's a reason behind it and how I have been successful, how other people are being successful in the program, okay? But inside of our relationship with Property Radar, there are different perks on how you can take advantage of that, okay? So we really want you to understand the ins and outs of Property Radar, okay? The other option would be like a free option. So like right now, Win is taking advantage of her tax site, okay? That's an option too. Actually, that's probably a great training I should implement, Win, in the coaching program. But RPR is another great website. And so I'm just going to post the link for you guys. You can find a lot of data here, okay? The problem with this is it's very, very time consuming. But if you're new when you're not ready to make that monthly commitment, then this could be an option. You can certainly find homes that are in a pre-foreclosure status and an auction. Remember, it's so, so crucial to separate those, okay? So inside of the coaching program, we talk about this free option, and then we talk a lot about the paid option. Now, there's some people that come in and say, oh, I'm already using this system. Great. If it's working for you, then don't change it. But again, this is just a tool that we provide. I use it. I love it. If you've been on my live streams a lot, you know that time is so important. And I like simplicity. So this is a very simple program to use. We will teach you how to set up a list dedicated to auction and list dedicated to pre-foreclosure. Again, if there's any questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat, okay? So first, yes, you're gonna wanna get those leads, okay? So I'm trying to take you step by step on all of this. It can get very overwhelming, but you have to dedicate a little bit of time each day. And that's really what we like to show you inside of the Blueprint Short Sales Coaching Program is all the daily stuff. Implement it, get it set, the consistency, and then move on to the next part, okay? So like the letters have always been my number 2 lead source, okay? The number 1 is the book, which I wrote. We're not going to discuss the book today, but number 2 has always been those letters. And so I got very, very consistent. If you are consistent, you're getting leads, right, Win? Like you sent out the letters and you got the calls. Did you get a call? How often are you sending those letters? Oh, you're on mute.
I send out cards every day.
Okay.
I have that send out card program, so I send out 10 cards every single day. If I have their phone number, I try and call them once a month. I try to send them a handwritten note every so often. And I think the idea is just keeping in touch with them. Now, the one that I listed on Washington Street in Algonac, actually last year when they were getting ready for tax sale, his health was really bad and they were just like overwhelmed. They couldn't believe a tax sale would help them. So you know what I did? I went and paid the taxes for them. And
Oh,
I
yes.
did a note where they would agree to pay me back. She paid me in the beginning, but then they didn't. But I kept right in touch with them. And this year they said, you know what, we just can't do this house. We can't do the taxes. He's bedridden now. So they called me up, come list our house. And right off the top, you can take what we owe you, you'll get your commission. And if you sell it, you'll get a double commission. So, you know, sometimes you got to give before you get.
Yes.
And that's my theory.
Yes. And so that thank you, Win. That kind of leads me into why do we separate auction and pre-foreclosure? And so Win, I know you know this, but the pre-foreclosure status, it's more of like a drip, kind of like what Win has been doing. You have to give a lot, educate them, help them, hold their hand, right? And so those are going to take a little bit longer. And we're going to talk about specific letters for that here in a second. But I do separate that because the auction, you can get leads pretty much right away with the auction, okay? And so there's a lot of stuff that we've tested over the years, but that is why inside of Property Radar, we separate those lists. So we have auction and we have pre-foreclosure, okay? And so the auction families are at the end of the process. Like they need to do something like yesterday. And so when you're sending out these letters, you have to make sure the auction is a certain amount of time out. Well, what if they call you like a day or two before? Are there any other options? Yes, there is. Auction leads are a little bit more complicated, but you can make a ton of money, also help a lot of families. Win, are you doing the auction ones right now?
No, I'm not. We don't have any, we haven't had any auctions in my area lately. We do have pre-foreclosure sales. And right now we have somebody from the Detroit area that's gotten the 3 that have gone on the market. So I'm trying to wiggle my way into that, but you got to start somewhere.
Right.
The auctions are more outside of our community is very rural, and they haven't gotten into the auction part of it yet. And I think people get a little bit more leeway because it is so rural.
Yeah.
So I haven't done any auctions yet. I did though in 2008, 9, and 10,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because I will say in some of the cases they auction off the house and it does not even include the appliances, even though they're there. Everything is sold separately. So
Yeah.
you have to really watch how you do it and always ask that question. Then you sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. It is crazy. And so I love when that you have gotten into this and you kind of carved your niche in another area of distressed. But you're really planning ahead. So everyone always tells me all the time, I don't know how you're making any money. Short sales are around. Yes, they are. Distress situations are around, people, and you can make a very good living doing it. But you have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort. I wish I had myself in this community 17 years ago. I probably would be a lot further than I was. But that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. People meet for a reason, right? So you really have to, your market may be fine right now, but what are you going to do in a year from now or 2 years from now when the market shifts? You're going to wish that you had done something sooner. So you have to plan in advance, okay? Because what we're trying to accomplish here in our mission in our community, it does take time, okay? So let's talk about the direct mail marketing piece. So I do have a pre-foreclosure letter that I am willing to give if you don't have that yet. Please send an email. It is a pre-foreclosure, I'm putting my email here, a pre-foreclosure letter, okay? And so I'm giving that to you for free. That letter should be only going to families in a pre-foreclosure status. I like that letter. I used it for many years. However, last year I did a lot of trial and error on a series letter, okay? And so there's a pre-foreclosure series letter right now in the coaching program. What is that exactly? Well, like Wynn said, you kind of got to give a little bit in a pre-foreclosure situation. They know that they have time. Let's just put it that way, okay? And so we really want to educate them, okay? We want them to understand what is going on throughout the foreclosure process. And so depending if you're judicial or non-judicial, we'll have to tweak the letters. It is a video of you, and we help you create the QR code, and it's 8 letters. So every letter is a different part of the foreclosure process for them. And so we're educating them on what's going on, what's to come, and that bad things do happen to good people and how they can get out of this situation. Okay. And so that is available. But if you want the free pre-foreclosure letter, please send me an email. I posted it in the group. Okay. Let's just see if there's anyone listening live. Oh, yeah. Hey, Natasha. Natasha is also a part of the coaching program. Here's the email if you guys want that free letter. That's a pre-foreclosure series letter, okay? Okay, so then the auction date. So we actually have 2 very, very good letters for the auction date. I don't give them out here because they are such highly effective letters, but there are 2, and we send those letters out. So like Wynn is sending postcards every single day. The auction letters are going out every single week. And so we do have a step-by-step system. And we want you to mirror exactly what I have done. So like Wednesday mornings is when my team goes in and pulls this data. So normally, like last week, we sent about 90 letters out for families that were in an auction, okay? That's only a couple of surrounding counties. The reason why I don't do all the counties now in Chicagoland is because I do have a couple of other coaching members in Chicagoland, and I am trying to keep areas throughout the United States exclusive. So like Detroit, Wynn area, we're not accepting anyone else, okay? Chicagoland is a no. But so about 90 letters went out last week. When you may have heard this number, but so if you did, don't say it. But any guesses on how many letters went out yesterday? So yesterday is the day we always pull. Last week was about 90, I think 87 or so. What was the number yesterday? I'm telling you this because things are adjusting. I've been tracking this data. I'm a nerd when it comes to tracking that data, okay? So any guesses? Hi, Rita. All right, no guesses. Come on, someone could make a guess. When do you remember the number from, were you on yesterday? No?
No.
Okay, so just in a week's time, it went up to 219. So that is a massive jump. So it's really, really crazy. Okay. And so we have so we have two different weekly letters. One of them is an equity letter. So if you are still in a market, and this is something that we can help you determine, okay? If you're in a market that still has lots of equity, but people are behind, then you want to take advantage of the equity letter. Why? Because it's really like in their face, hey, let us help you pull out this equity so you don't lose it, right? So right, all of 2023, that's what my team was using. However, things are definitely adjusting in Chicagoland because a lot of people haven't made a payment in so long. So I switched back to the auction date letters. Now these are front and back. You could certainly get them printed at your house. We do like to do a bulk print. I have discounts at my printing company. But anyways, the auction date letter is front and back. And it is a very much a call to action, okay? And there's certain ways that we send it out so the families will open the letters. So the auction date should be going out every single week, okay? Remember, those families really need our help. The pre-foreclosure series letter or just the pre-foreclosure letter, I would say every 3 to 5 weeks, depending on if you're judicial or non-judicial, okay? Here, it has to go through the court process. I know in Ohio, it's the same way. Michigan, it's opposite. So Michigan, I'd probably send them out every 3 to 4 weeks. Illinois, Ohio, it would probably be every 4 to 5 because it is a very, very lengthy process here. Okay. All right. And then a follow-up system, right? So what CRM are you currently using? I would love to know. Not that it really matters because I do think a majority of the CRMs for what we're doing works fine, but I am just curious. KV Core. Okay. Great, Valerie. So I actually, in May of 2022, almost 2 years ago, I brought in a KV Core specialist. And I still have so everything inside of our program is recorded. And so I brought in a KV Core specialist a couple of years ago to show you how to implement our email campaigns, which I probably haven't even ever mentioned before. But inside of Property Radar, you can get emails. Do some of those bounce back? Do some people change them? Yeah. But I do get some response from the emails. The whole idea here is to clone yourself and be the Heather Keller in your area. So we do want sellers to see your email. We want them to see your letters. We want them to see cards like Wynn's doing. We want them to see you on social media, attorneys, community events, book. I think I showed this before. Like I said, we're not talking about it today, but this is the book. Wynn, do you have this yet?
No, I don't have it yet.
Okay. We also have a surprise. We had a surprise in the group yesterday that we actually have another book that was just released. So I'll be talking about that in the coming weeks in this group, but not today. Just so you all know, there's always something going on behind the scenes. I love to keep secrets. But anyways, KV Core, we do have lots of trainings inside of the group for that. So I use Perfect Storm. Again, if you're not using a CRM, so don't change it if it's not broken. So Valerie, if you love KV Core, perfect. Just keep it, okay? If you don't have a CRM, then I do have access to discounts inside of the program with Perfect Storm. Okay. I like Perfect Storm. Anyone know why I probably like it? I say this word all the time because I like simple, right? And so Perfect Storm is very simple. All of the email campaigns we have already written. There's a pre-foreclosure one. It runs about 11 months and the auction one runs about 3 months. Okay. I wrote all of those emails. The Perfect Storm support team can actually already implement those in for you. So I guess what I'm saying is we want a simple follow-up system, okay? And so you can use those email campaigns to do that, but also I like to use Google Calendar. Anyone else use some sort of online calendar that connect to your phone? I hope so in this day and age. I still do like to print my to-do list and cross it off with Sharpies. But oh yeah, Google Calendar. Okay, great. So the reason why I like Google Calendar is because I do try to keep it simple. So any leads that my team pulls every single Wednesday, whether it's pre-foreclosure, gets implemented into the CRM under pre-foreclosure campaign or auction under auction campaign, okay? But when I start to get phone calls, I keep it in my Google Calendar. So I really try to keep it simple. So just take a look at this. Now, everyone's a little bit different. I do not color coordinate my stuff. Surprisingly, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Heather, you're so organized. Why don't you do that? I don't know. So everything in here is either my kids' stuff, personal stuff, business. Okay. Like here's my live stream. This is what we're on right now. My kids are in a theater. Okay. So I have all of that in there. This calendar, if I did not have this, I would probably be in a crazy hospital because there's so much going on. So if you are not an organized person, let me help you. I love to organize stuff, okay? But what I really wanted to show you is once someone calls you, then I still keep them on the CRM Perfect Storm or KV Core or whatever you have. But I then put them in here because I want to keep track. I don't want to have to log into my system every day. It connects to my phone. If I'm out, I can pull it up. It's just easier for me, okay? And so, like for example, next Thursday, I have to call Michael. Michael is a lead from my auction letters. And so he has an auction. This has been postponed per his attorney. Okay. And so really what you should be doing is putting all this information in here, but then keeping track of all of your conversations. Okay. The reason why I don't do that anymore is because I literally can remember every single conversation. Now, if I get past about 70 deals, then I do have to keep a little bit more track. My brain has just been trained to remember loan numbers, to remember conversations. What did I speak to Michael about last time? Was it a text? Okay, well, this time I'm going to write a letter. Okay. So I do keep track of all of that here. Okay. So like here, Peter, this is actually a seller buyer. And so I do stress a lot that if you do this the right way, more real estate will come your way. Okay. So I helped Patty in a short sale situation about 10 years ago. They came, they purchased with me. Now they want to sell that property that they purchased with me and move to another one. But anyways, my point here is once you speak to someone, keep track of it in your Google Calendar. Okay. That's how I do it. So I like the simple. Here's John. So John filed a chapter 13, also came from my auction letters, and he filed a chapter 13. Well, guess what? When he filed the chapter 13 in November, it was a no then, but I'm keeping in touch with him. And then he called me in the new year and said, I can't make those payments anymore. And so the case is about ready to be dismissed. And so we do want to start the process before it gets dismissed. So the letters work, but it may be a no. So you do have to have a simple follow-up system in place, whether it is your Google Calendar or maybe you decide you want to do your CRM. We do that because eventually it's probably going to be a yes. Okay. So whether it's 2 months down the road or 3 months, who knows? Any questions on all of that? Hi, Geraldine. How are you? Yeah, so that's okay. We definitely have the replay. But we really dedicate, it's very, very important to separate your marketing, okay? And I really learned this the hard way over the years. And so we have our lead system. So most of our coaching members use Property Radar. If you're already getting your leads somewhere, great. But we have tons of perks with Property Radar. But the reason why I like Property Radar is because if you've been with me a while, I like simple. And so we do want to separate those leads, okay? So we have a pre-foreclosures letter. So if you want that letter and you don't have it, send me an email, info@blueprintshortsales.com. Happy to give you that letter. That is a pre-foreclosure letter. However, what we have since implemented last year is a pre-foreclosure series letter. That is really going to help educate homeowners in your area. The whole idea here is for you to clone what I have done and become the go-to expert in your area. Now, because when the market shifts, you want to be that person, okay? So those letters, the pre-foreclosure should go out every like 3 to 5 weeks, depending on if you're judicial or non-judicial, okay? And then the other one is our auction. So inside of the program, we have 2 different letters. If you are in an area that still has a lot of equity, but homeowners are behind, you want to use the equity letter, okay? If you do have more short sales and they owe more on the mortgage than what it's worth, then you would want to take advantage of the auction date lead letter, okay? Those letters should be going out every single week. And so what I was just showing you in my calendar was people that have called and how I'm keeping track. And last week we sent about 90 auction date letters out. This week, 1 week later, it was 219. So that's the difference. If you have questions on that, let me know. Hi, Rita. I don't remember if I said hi. All right. Any questions about the things that you can do now or just in general? I am also going to include a link. I would love to learn more about you specifically and your business. And the reason why I say that is because we are growing and we need more people to help these homeowners across the country. So I would love to dive in deeper with your numbers and how this program can be easily implemented into your everyday real estate. So that way you can get leads now and adjust as the market shifts, okay? So just to give another example, Tuesday I closed a deal. It was an equity sale. I did not have to negotiate the short sale. It was 3.5% and the purchase price was $447. So that's like 15, almost 16,000 just from one deal. So even if you were just closing one deal, right? So let me post my Calendly link. The auction date lead letter should be going out every single week. And so I would love to take you through more one-on-one of what the program actually entails. Because I think a lot of you would probably be shocked. We're live 5 times a week. We have a monthly short sale training, the one coming up in February, which is next week. I'm bringing my rental agent on. He helps people who have bad credit. So we're going to teach you how to do all of that. But the auction date letters, Sharon, in short, should be going out every single week. So there is a step-by-step. When I'm not sure if you can comment, like, you know, what are your thoughts? I would love to know your thoughts about the actual program. What do you like? You know, we're live every single week. Communication is really key. So we do communicate a lot, either through the group. So this is what the group looks like, just so you know. Lots of communication and lots of stuff that goes on, but would love to do more of a one-on-one with people because I do like to get to know you personally. And there are some areas we are not bringing on new members. So we do try to keep this exclusive. There's a lot of areas still open, but Detroit, surrounding suburbs, and Chicagoland are a no right now.
Put the address in the heading. So I think that for me, when I can get, and the thing I really like is if you can't make the call, it's recorded and we can get it later and we can keep referring back to it if we need to. That's, to me, is really important because of my life schedule right now. And the second thing is sometimes there'll be people on the call that, like I came up with this, the tax thing today, they'll come up with something that will relate to all of us in some way. And there's just so much communication, and Heather's always available if we need anything. I sometimes get asked for crazy things, but that's because my life is crazy right now. But that's why I like it. The communication, and one deal, you've more than paid for the program. So
Yeah. Thanks, Win. I should ask more of the coaching members to come on, but I know we have all these trainings. I don't want to overwhelm, but yes, I have dedicated a lot of time to Blueprint. And so people always says, why is this so different? I am not the marketer and promoter. Just do a Google search on me. I just have a passion and I love what I do and I want to spread my knowledge and my awareness. I'm actually still doing real estate side by side with Win and everyone else, but I do have a team that handles the majority of that. So I am able to dedicate a lot of time inside of Blueprint. So we do have a couple of different options as far as payments go. There's a payment option and a one-time, but I would love to discuss that further with you. Just schedule a 30-minute call. We can go through the program. So just if you were to come in right now, just so you know, there's over 2 years worth of training that you could go back to. So it's not like you're just starting now, you have access to all of that. Any final comments? So I see there's a lot of people watching in the group. Geraldine, we will have the replay tomorrow usually. And I did post a link to schedule that free session with me.
yeah,
Oops. Don't need to hear myself. All right. Any other questions from anyone that's watching live here? And I did get the emails, so I will respond to both who sent an email. Oh, I guess we have a couple of extra minutes. I would love to look up some numbers. So if you are in an area, if you want to just shout out or please post so I can see a couple of different counties, maybe like 3 or 4 different counties that you service. I would love to look up the numbers so you guys know that I'm not crazy and that there's actually people facing foreclosure in your area. I won't go through my analogy again because I do say it often, but if you're dealing with this every single day, trust me, they will come to you. But yeah, I'm in Property Radar now, so I would be happy to look up those counties just so you have an idea. I have a few more extra minutes before I have to get on our coaching back to basic series training. Anyone want to know their numbers? Check in the chat. Harris County, Fort Bend. Okay, that's Texas, right? Shannon? Oh, Valerie, Dallas County. Oof, we have no one. I don't think we have anyone in Dallas right now. Oh, Kentucky. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm just writing these down. Ed, is that? Oh, that is Oklahoma. We don't have anyone in Oklahoma either. And I actually have an attorney relationship there. All right, so Valerie, Hamilton County. Is there any other counties in Ohio? I would service more. Shannon. Shannon is in Shannon. Okay. Butler, Clermont, Warren. Shannon, tell me again. Oh, Texas, that's right. Okay, Texas. And Warren. All right. Let's start with Valerie. I shall save her for last because I know those numbers are astronomical, but let's do this. Okay. We have Dallas County. So what I do is I'll include the pre-foreclosure numbers as well as the auction together. But inside the program, we do show you how to separate that just because it is so important. Tarrant. All righty. And I'll show you. Give me a minute. I'll share my screen. Okay. What's the other? Dallas, Texas. Oh, I think it's Harris County that's really bad, Shannon. Okay, these numbers are pretty good though, still. Okay, so Valerie, we have 824 families currently. Now you are in an NOD state, so it moves a lot quicker. These are just families that have an NOD or a auction. Okay, this doesn't include anyone that is just now suffering. Those types of people you really should connect with through the community as well as attorneys, which again, all of that is inside of the program, especially the books that we're using. So once I say your numbers, I would love to know if you are surprised by that or not surprised. All right, let's move on to Shannon. Okay, Shannon, not too surprised. Okay, hopefully you can stay on. I'll do yours next, Shannon. All right, so let's take a look. Search Harris County. See, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, we probably need 3 people in Harris County. That's just Harris County. Almost 3,300 families. That's insane.
And that's what, 3,300 families that's in pre-foreclosure?
Yeah, okay, so hold on. So between Fort Bend and Harris, there's 3,548 families that either have an NOD or an auction or share sale, whatever you want to call it. That number does not include families that don't have an NOD. So maybe they just started struggling, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's notice of default.
Yeah, that is a huge number. And surprisingly, we have no one right now in that area, just so you know. Now for something like this, Shannon, that is a huge number. So we probably would need to have a couple people in that area.
Okay.
But right now there's no one. And, you know, I also do tend to talk to people before I bring on someone just to make sure they're in it for helping versus
Right.
the money.
I'll
So
schedule the 30-minute,
yeah, did you get the link?
we can talk about it.
I'll
Yes, I
post
got
it.
the link.
You did get the link? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so here it is again. All right, so let's take a look, Ed. So let's see what Ed's got. All right, Ed. Which we also don't have anyone in Oklahoma. I was just keeping track of all the states that we don't have anyone. Now these numbers are not going to be like it is in Dallas because it's obviously a smaller area. Oops. Now, now these are just a couple of numbers. So this would work for one person. So essentially, Ed, in this particular area, I would only have like one person. And so 133 still, that's even if you got a few of those. I would add some additional counties if I were you. I tend to drive, or I used to. I don't as much anymore because remember, I am dedicating a lot of time to you all. I would drive up to like an hour and a half. So is there any other counties that you want me to take a look at, Ed?
Can you do Brazoria County?
Is that
whenever you get to with them.
Yeah, let me get through everyone else first.
Yes, go ahead and
Heather,
Yeah,
just for the heck of it, could you check St. Clair County?
sure.
Thanks.
Okay, so 135, Ed. So not bad again. Like I said, I try to make it exclusive. So I wouldn't add anyone else in that particular area. So, all right, so there's that. Shannon wants to know Zora. $125. So you have some pretty big numbers, Shannon. All right, so let's look in Ohio, and then when I will do your county. Ohio, we have Hamilton. You're welcome. Butler. Vermont. Warren. 325. So good number for one person to take on. Now remember, so Ohio's like Illinois, okay, has to go through the courts. And so the number with that is so that's anyone that has a Liz pendens or an auction. But we do not get served papers in a Liz pendens filed until, like, depending on how far they're behind, maybe 4 months. So you have anyone that hasn't made a payment in month 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly longer. So the numbers in these types of states it's crazy. So just so you know. Okay, so then we have, let's take a look. You're welcome. I guess my main thing to show you guys this is, yeah, there's people that need help. There's only 4 in that county, Valerie. So not a lot. All right, so let's look at St. Clair. Is anyone on here looking? Numbers, the numbers would be by county. I pull by county. I prefer county. You can, when you get into the property radar and stuff, you can pull that way, but we typically do things by county here in our coaching program. Okay, so St. Clair. 93, win.
Thank you. I just wondered. So that's good. Not bad, like I thought.
Is that the county you live in?
Yes.
So Michigan, so here, let me explain Michigan. So Michigan is non-judicial,
Mm-hmm.
and it does not go through the court. So it's NOD, and there's always going to be a lot more auction. So my guess is, let's just take a guess. I believe probably like 91 of this is probably auction. So if you are in an NOD state, you want to take advantage immediately of those auction letters, okay? So let's just take a look. The reason why is because, again, it doesn't have to go through the court, so there's not a lengthy pre-foreclosure process. So my guess is it's very high. 90. I was close. See, I said 91. So that means 90 out of 93 of those are in an auction status. It's going to be the same for Texas. So 3 of them would be getting like the pre-foreclosure series letter. 90 of them would be getting the auction or the equity letter. Pretty crazy. All right, any other questions? I did see a couple of free sessions. It's free, okay, people? Just get to know me a little bit, what we're about, what we're trying to accomplish. I can show you more of the program, and we can talk about it. So definitely go ahead and schedule that. I try to open as much as I could for next week. Any other questions while I'm still live with you? All right, well, thank you so much. Be on the lookout for some really awesome live streams coming up. I have the next few weeks planned. So we always have a replay, but it's always nice to attend live because sometimes I'll do some fun stuff like pulling data and all that. Otherwise, Win, I will see you soon. And everyone else, I look forward to meeting you on the free Zoom session. Have a great day.